Hi everybody, how y'all doing? Welcome to the next stream. Who we got in the chat tonight? Let's have a wee look. I'll scroll back to the top. Hi Leslie, hi Digger, Tom Houston, Tom Couples, Flymo, how you doing? Hot Dog, oh. And that's just disappeared. Where did I get to? Clive Newman, how you doing? Motorola Shed, Dino, Peter Jackson, Greta Heath, how you doing? Robert Kennedy, Jerry BVR. Hope I haven't missed anyone else out. Oh, Anthony Dodge, how you doing? How is everyone tonight? Hope you're all doing well. Tonight, I don't know if you can see, we've got a few locos behind me here that I'm going to do a bit of a service on and clean up. Some of these locos were donated by Robert Kennedy there, who's in the chat. Thanks very much for that. They're going to be running on the railways in the centre. Christopher Hobbyblog, how you doing? Trainspotter in UK, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Good to have you guys here. So we'll have a look at what I have here. I'm just trying to sort out my phone here so I can keep an eye on the chat while I'm chatting. Here, just sort out the chat. There we go. So hi to anyone who's watching in the background, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button for me. We're going to do some servicing of locos tonight. I've got a Flying Scotsman here, which I haven't actually tested yet or ran. I say it's Robert who donated these to the centre, so we're going to have a look at this tonight, see what needs doing on it. And there's also this DMU unit. Need to have a look at that. And if we have time, I've got a couple of G-scale LGB units here I need to have a look at because they're running very, very slowly. So they obviously need a good clean, good service, a bit of an oil, see if we get them running any better. Hi Bernie, how you doing? Mark from Hemmeldown, have you popped in as well? How you doing? So first thing we'll do is we'll move the camera in a little bit closer so you can look at the workbench here and see what I'm doing. So I'll sort that out now. Let's see how that looks. That's not too bad. You can see I've got the usual, I've got my oiling pen, cotton buds, I've got some Track Magic here. I'm only using this because that's the only thing I could find because I can't find my IPA anywhere because everything's still packed in boxes. There's various screwdrivers and pliers and everything here to have a look at. And I've got my Gauge Master power supply here. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn this upside down. Now this is a tender driven Scotsman. So the motor is in here. So it takes the power from one side of the track through this pin from the engine. And it picks up the other side from the wheels here. So I'll put a couple of wires on it and just see how it runs. I can see the wheels are a little bit dirty. It's got traction tires on it. So that immediately tells me which side I need to put the power on here. So obviously the side with the traction tires isn't the side that takes up the power. You can see that there. So I'll put a little bit of power on. Hook one wire up to the pin. Helps if I put a direction on. And there we can see by doing that on the two wheels there and there, we can see the pickups are both working. And the pickups on here is working. So we know that that bit is working. Hi Kieran, how you doing? Is Andy in as well? Hi Morland, Andy, how you doing? So if we lay it on its back, hook it up, and if I usually have a cradle to put these in to hold them steady, but obviously most of my life at the moment it's in a box somewhere. Oh, Rachel, Angel Crew, how you doing? So it should be from these main wheels here, it picks up, and these wheels here. And we can see there, oh, there's no continuity. Now there we go, it's working from that wheel, but not from that wheel. Oh, it is a bit. Right, so that tells me that maybe the pickups that are on these wheels here need a bit of a clean. Now looking at it, the wheels are a little bit tarnished, so they could probably do with a little bit of a clean, but they don't look too bad to be honest. So we'll get some of the track magic. So guys, don't forget to hit that like button for me and subscribe if you're new here. And if you've got any questions, stick it in the chat, and either myself or anyone in the chat will probably be able to answer it for you. So how is everyone? What's everyone been up to the past week? So this is just track magic. I bought this to see what it was like. It's okay. To be honest, it's no better than IPA, and you can get a litre bottle of IPA what you pay for a little bottle of this. So I'm just using this up till it's gone, and then just use ordinary IPA. So I've got a little cotton earbud here, and I'm just gonna clean over the wheels. And there is quite a little bit of dirt on there on these wheels. And you can see the dirt coming off there. The thing you got to remember is the pickups will run on the inside of the wheel. So you need to make sure you clean the inside of the wheel as well. And with these, it's just a matter of spinning them, holding the tip against it, and just let it clean it off. Now, if you have any in-ground dirt, then you can use these. I got these as a birthday present, I think. I think they're only a couple of quid on eBay. It came as a set of 3. So I got 3 there. So one is a fiberglass, one is a metal, and the other one is brass. Hi Carl, how you doing? So if I screw it out there, you can see that's the fiberglass end. You can use that for cleaning, or you've got the brass end on there, which you can see is a bit green from where I've been cleaning it off flux. We can just use that just to clean the wheels. Just roughens up the surface and gets any in-ground dirt off. So it helps with the conductivity of the electricity through the wheels onto the pickups. So you can pick these little pens up on eBay. They're usually only a couple of quid. Fiberglass one works good as well, but tend to use the fiberglass one if you want to take decals off. It's a gentler eraser, if you like. It's not as rough as the brass or the metal end. So I continue to use the brass one. What I also use is I have a Dremel type tool with a brass cleaner on it. Use that on a low speed just to clean the wheels off. I know people say, oh, if you use something like this, you're putting tracks on it and it's going to get dirt and everything like that. You're using this gently just to get the dirt off. You're not scrubbing it in and putting deep gouges in it. There's microscopic gouges on these things anyway, even though they feel smooth to the touch. There's going to be stuff there where dirt picks up. So just a gentle rub with that, just to get it back and get any in-ground dirt off. Sometimes these wheels can be that bad. You need to use like a screwdriver just to go around the edge, just to get all that dirt lifted off. But as I say, this area here of the wheel here is the bit that picks up the electricity from the track or the signal from your DCC. But the inside of the wheel is often where the pickups are. So that needs to be cleaned as well. So as well as cleaning that side there, you need to clean the inside of the wheel as well. Otherwise you just won't get a good electrical contract. I say this is the sort of thing you can do. You know, get a little lap tray, have it on your lap, watch a bit of TV or YouTube or whatever, and do it in the front room. As long as you don't spill any of this anywhere, because that can be quite abrasive and can, to my detriment, cause a lot of staining and washing out of colours. I seen somebody on Facebook there looking for help because they spilled, I think it was some mascol or something on the carpet, and most of the comments were advising the guy of where to get nice chocolates and flowers to give to his missus. But this, all you have to do is just make sure you clean the surface of the wheel, clean the back of the wheel where the pickups rub against, and sort of 90% of the time you'll find that the alcohol in the IPA or your Track Magic or whatever you're using will get most of the dirt off and leave a reasonable surface for electric conductivity. Oh, by the way, it is actually very, very stormy here tonight. We're under a yellow weather warning. So if I disappear offline, it's because my power's gone out. The lights have been flickering earlier on, so if I disappear, that's what's happened. So we'll hook that, give it a bit of a clean out, we'll just hook it up. Run the power through it again and just see how that works now. It's a bit noisy that, so we could probably do with a little bit of, maybe a little bit of oil. Oh, possible snow up my way on Sunday, great. Van der Hel, you're very welcome to the stream, hope you're keeping well. So if you've got any questions, pop them in the chat. If I miss them, I'm sure one of my mods will get on to me and send them to the message or whatever. So that seems to be working fine there now. It's picking up on these two wheels here, not this one here, seems to be. So it could be that the it just needs a bit more of a clean, or that the pickup on this side is broken. Well, I can actually see there's a lot of fluff down there. But you got to remember with these sort of things, as it goes around the corner, the wheels move, so they may move off a contact. So the idea of having all three wheels with a contact on it, there should be always at least one in contact with the rail. And I can see right down in there, there is a little bit of fluff. So let's see if I can get my tweezers out. This is a great set of tweezers I got, anti-static tweezers. I picked them up in Lidl ages ago for about a tenner, but there's all shapes and sizes in there. Very, very handy. It's just great for getting into small spaces and just getting bits of fluff out. There we go. But you can see the sort of dirt that comes off the wheels there. Fluff was Sam running it. Yeah, the big debate about, oh, you shouldn't run trains on carpet. But sorry. Sometimes that's all we can do is run trains on carpets. And to be honest, as long as you maintain your locos and keep them clean, running them on carpet shouldn't be a problem. And if that's all you can do, get your layout, put your track down and run on carpet every now and again. That's all you can do. Like I love watching, is it Tim JD? Like he's got looks like a spare room and he's just got his track down on the carpet and he runs his trains around it. And it's great, it's fantastic, you know? I mean, last week I was here, I had my track set up on the table there behind me and I was running trains around it because I don't have a layout at the moment till I finish my attic, which, as I say, I'm hoping that I can start putting baseboards down by the end of February, all being well. But it just, it's one of those things, you know, when you're trying to do it in between work and kids and stuff like that, an hour here and an hour there, it just takes time. You know, probably if I was able to dedicate a week or 2 weeks to it, I would have it done, but these things that take time and I want it done right, I want it done properly so I have a nice space, because, you know, that's where my layout's going to be for at least the next 10 years, so. Well, that's it. As long as we're all enjoying the hobby, that's exactly it, Peter. Whatever way you want to run your trains, just do it and run trains, and don't let anybody tell you that's not how you should do it. Right, I think that's clean enough now. So that seems to be working all right, Robert. Thanks for that. I know you said there was a problem with the connection or something, but I haven't seen it so far. It seems to be working fine. Oh, this is actually one with the double connection, is it? So it picks up power from both sides and takes it to the tender. So that should make it even more reliable. Let's just see if that's working. No, it doesn't seem to be working. So it's picking up from those two wheels. It's picking up from that wheel. It's picking up from that wheel. And that's the problem wheel there. And it's picking up from it sometimes. So what we might do is just take the cover off this and give it a little bit of oil. Hi Grant, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I think this is going to need a little screwdriver just to prise this off. So yeah, glancing at the chat there, so if anybody has a question, they put it up and I haven't answered it, just keep posting it till I see it, or one of my mods sees it and flags it up to me. Again, this was another set of screwdrivers from Lidl, about a tenner. Very handy set to have, not even just if you have model railways, but for doing anything about the house. The trick is to get these off without snapping any bits. It doesn't want to come off. Is there a screw in this one? No, it doesn't appear to be. Some clips this side. So, anybody in the background, don't be shy. Go into the chat, say hello. And if you're come across this stream and you're new here, hit the subscribe button. And give me an old thumbs up or a thumbs down. Doesn't matter. It's all interactions. I'm sure if my son's watching somewhere, it'll be a thumbs down. Or even if I have Rebecca, who apparently was in the chat last week and I didn't spot, and I got told off for it, because if anybody doesn't know, Rebecca is my other half. So hello Rebecca, in case you're watching. I have a video out tomorrow on what I won from Jason at Barnabas Junction. Showing what I won, including the surprise one I got back in October, I think it was. I didn't even know what it was till I opened it last night. Hey, this doesn't want to come off, and usually they come off really easy. Robert, did you glue this on? It came off at the front, no bother. But at the back here, you remember the tenders for the Flying Scotsman had a walkway going through them, so they could change drivers without stopping. Gone over Niagara Falls without a barrel, hey? Ooh. This is one of these things that you shouldn't do on a live stream, because you're probably going to break it. It makes me think that there's... Oh, there is a tiny little screw in at the bottom. That's what it is. Right, let's get the screwdriver in there. This is where also having a lamp is very useful. No, it's not fitting it. funny because there is actually a little screw in there. I didn't think there was because this sort of pony truck bogie here is actually riveted on. Usually there's a screw in that to take that away to get at the screws. But not in this case. That's the thing with Phillips head, you have to have the exactly right Phillips head for the screw or it won't work. See, the stream is going to consist now of me trying to get the back off a tender of a Flying Scotsman. Nope. Have they glued these screws in? They just don't want to come out. Hi Ewan, how you doing? Hope you're keeping well, sir. I enjoyed your video, was it the other week there you had on your signals? Very good. Like anybody who's in the chat here, most people in the chat have got their own channel. Go look them up, go check them out. They've all got excellent channels. I'm being outsmarted here by a Hornby screw. That's one out. Hi Tim, how you doing? Hope you're keeping well. How's things in the Isle of Wight? There we are. So to get those crosshead screws out, it took a flat-headed screwdriver. So there we have typical type of motor in a Hornby. This is probably a 3-pole motor, I would have thought, by the age of it. 1, 2, 3. No, actually, no, this is a 5-pole motor, which is, the 5-pole motor is far more reliable. What that means is, in the motor here, it's got 5 poles. So, underneath each one of these is a brush to get onto the commutator to put electricity through. And you can see how it's attached to the chassis there. So like you have in your car, the chassis acts as the conductor, but it's also got other wires going down there, which is connected to the pin, which connects onto there to carry the current as well. So following the wires. Yeah, so you can see there, I don't know if you can just make those out, those copper tabs there, they're picking electricity from the wheels here. And then from the other track it's coming through the pins into the motor. And you can see there that there is a capacitor, which is designed on DC locos to smooth it out to stop radio interference so you don't get the lines on your TV, which I don't think anybody gets anymore, because that used to interfere with sort of the old cathode ray tube TVs, which everybody's got LCD flat screens now. So if you were converting this to DCC, you would have to cut that capacitor out, and you'd have to wire the red or black onto the chassis, and the other one onto the wires going down to the connection going to the main engine. Because these are wired as well, now you'll see on there how this bit here is plastic. So this bit here and the brushes are insulated from the main body. Older locos, you have to actually put an insulating screw in if you're doing a DCC conversion. Yeah, it does have grey cogs. One of the, well, I find the common faults with these is the brass cog in the centre there slips on the shaft, and you have to get a new cog and press it on. Sometimes the plastic, they used to come with plastic cogs and they split and break. Yeah, it is a 5-pole. Yeah, you could probably fit a stay alive in there. I mean, there's space in there to put a capacitor and stuff for your stay alive and your chip and everything. See, when you're doing something like this where the chassis is used as part of the live, you need to make sure you insulate everything. So everything's wrapped in tape or heat shrink, so it doesn't short out against this, because a lot of times when people convert these, they don't protect the chip hits off here, there's a puff of smoke and that's it, it's gone. I've been talking about this long. Oh yeah, I was going to give it a bit of oil. So I've got an oiling pen. Again, I picked this up. I actually got this from my local model shop a few years back, and it was £6. And if you have an oiling pen like this, it's going to last you a long time. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to put it, oh, that's actually too much oil. Because if these things, if you can see the oil, is too much. So that's actually, the drops I put on there is actually too much. So I'm just going to manually move them around for a while. Just so there's a little bit of oil in them, and then I'm going to use a cotton bud just to take away the excess oil. Because as they say, if you can see oil, there's too much oil on it. Because the oil at the same time, you need it for lubrication, it can also damage the plastic parts of it. So you don't want to have too much on there. And if I could find my rolling road, which I can't find at the moment because it's, again, like most of my life at the moment, buried in a box somewhere. You can leave it on the rolling road to run a little while. Just to let that oil bed in and then clean it up. Still getting a bit of a noise off it. By the way I'm holding it. So what I'm going to do is just on the other cogs, just put a little bit of oil. Get in there, a little bit of oil. It's great how you do these live streams and it makes a liar of you. It's starting to quieten down now, so I'm about to. So ideally, when you oil it, you'd have it on a rolling road leave it to run for about 15-20 minutes, sort of in either direction, let the oil bed in, and then clean off any excess oil. Yeah, I did put a bit of oil on the brass bit, Andy. There's something you have to be careful of, is when you are oiling this, is that you don't get it gets inside where it gets onto the commutator, because then it causes electrical interference. But as I say, when you oil something, the ideal thing to do would be to put it on a rolling road, let it run for sort of 20 minutes, half an hour in either direction. Yeah, as Flymo says there, you can get the grease on there. Graphite is the best sort of grease to use, although it's not a grease, it's more conductive as well. And you can see now the noise is lessening because it's been oiling, it's been running in. Castro GTX. You can see now it's been running in for a few minutes, the squeal's got less as the oil beds in. So that's what you do, you oil it, let it run in for 15 minutes to half an hour, and then if you see any excess oil, just clean it off. Because as I say, if you can see oil, you've got too much oil on it. Because the oil will attract dirt and everything to stick to it then. Is there a felt pad? Well, I don't know without stripping it down a bit more whether there is actually a felt pad on it. And to be honest, I don't want to strip it down much more. So I'm just going to clean off any excess oil. But that seems to be running fine. I've given the wheels a bit of a clean on it. I'll put it back together now, and then we can have it run on the layouts in the railway. Yeah, I know what you mean. It used to be sort of just behind the cog and you could see it, but no, I can see a bit of the old grease on here, and that it's not gone hard, it's still quite supple, that grease. We'll put that together again. Now this is tricky about getting the screws in. This is where having a cradle is very handy to put it in, to get the screws in. But as I said, my cradle is in a box. It's also very handy if the screwdrivers you have are magnetic for putting screws in. I hope my mic isn't picking up the background noise there. I've got my brother around whose birthday it is today, so. I also got my dad here as well, hovering over my shoulder looking at me. Hi Howard, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're keeping well. I take it, Bernie, Crossways Point Junction, you're going live after me. If you are, I'm sure Flymo or one of the mods can stick the link in. Oh, screw lost. So again, anybody got any questions or anything, pop them in the chat. Or if you look in the more info tab at the bottom, there's a link to a Google Docs, which you can post in anonymously if you don't want to put your question in chat. Right, there's the screws on that. And what I'll do is I will just actually check that document to make sure nobody's put something in it. No, showing blank at the moment, so yeah, so check out Bernie, this live stream. Bernie, when are you getting all your class 37s? When are they coming? Yeah, Tim, already done that. I got notification about that today, about turning it on. Howard, what I'm up to, I'm doing a bit of servicing on locos tonight. So these are locos that were donated to the Donegal Railway Heritage Centre by Robert Kennedy, who should be in the chat. So I'm just doing a bit of service on them, cleaning them up, making sure they're working all right, so they can run away on the layouts. I know it's the Flying Scotsman. It's not exactly a Donegal Railway, but it's great to have them running on our layouts because we have loads of kids coming in, and it's great. They recognise things like Thomas and the Flying Scotsman, and it's great when they recognise those because they, you know, they interact with us a bit more. You know, we have our layouts of Donegal Town Station and Killybegs and Pettigo and stuff like that, and you have to have Thomas running on them, even though the more stricter prototypical guys frown on that, but it gets the young people interested that they see Thomas running and go, oh, did Thomas come to Donegal? Yeah, of course Thomas came to Donegal. Alright, so we've got this DMU model. Now this must be an old Triang, built in Britain, Hornby Railways. So this must be from the late 70s, early 80s, looking at the sort of design of the pickups and that. Yeah, I don't tend to do much in shorts. I do them occasionally, just when I've got something to give out, and quite often I might do a short in response to somebody's question I've had on another video, just to, sometimes it's easier than just writing a comment, because you might want, it's easier to sometimes just show somebody what you mean. Yeah, that's running all right. I think I'll just give the wheels a bit of a clean. So I'm just using some Track Magic here. Normally I would just use IPA. I recommend anyone just to get a bottle of IPA. I don't know, I think they're on a litre of that on eBay is probably about a tenner or something like that. I know it did go up a lot during COVID because there was a demand for IPA. But I bought a litre bottle of that about 4 or 5 years ago. I've not gone through it yet. Sounds like the real thing, yeah. So I'm just giving the wheels a clean there. Now if there's any in-ground dirt on it, if it's really thick on there, you might need like a screwdriver to scrape it off, or use one of these brass pens just to rub the surface off and give it a clean. But these are actually quite clean, so I'm just giving them clean with alcohol. And so you also have to give the back side of the wheel a clean, because that's usually where the pickups are. There, I see my camera has sort of slowly twisted around as the night went on. So it's just a matter of just cleaning the wheels. Make sure you clean the back of the wheels. I mean, you can see how much dirt has come off there. Same on the other side. Now what I could do to make this more reliable is replace these plastic wheels at the back with metal wheels and put some pickups on these wheels to the motor, so then you have, because at the moment it's only these wheels here that are picking up, so if it goes into a dead spot or whatever, it's going to stall. Whereas if you have these pickups as well, more chance of more reliable running. IPO. So once you've given those surface a good clean, you just touch it with the electrics just to get them to spin around a little bit. And then continue cleaning. The great thing about using this Track Magic or IPA, if you're going to clean using IPA, get the 99.9% stuff, because there's no water in that and it doesn't leave any residue behind, it all evaporates. Okay, Andy, chat to you again. So it's cleaning the surface of the wheels, back of the wheels where the pickups are. There we go. So that's running fine. Giving it a bit of a clean up. Don't think it needs oil and everything. It's working fine. So I can take that into the railway, put it on the layouts and see how it runs. So I'll put them behind me. Now, moving on to something a little bit bigger. This is an LGB. This is G scale. So it runs on 35mm track. Now this picks up electricity through the wheels, but also has these pads here that are spring loaded that run on the track. I don't know if you can see there, you can see where the groove of the track is worn into it. Yeah, lighter fluid is good, methylated spirits, surgical spirits. I mean, most chemists you go into, sort of a traditional pharmacist chemist, you can get rubbing alcohol or something in there which will clean it. How's my progress going in the loft? Slowly. I'm hoping to be starting putting baseboards down by end of February. So again, I'm doing the same thing with this. Cotton wool bud, cleaning solution on it, and just cleaning the wheels. And also cleaning the pickups. Now I have a feeling that these engines on here, these locos, are just worn out, because these run every day, sort of 6 days of the week this time of year, 7 days of the week of the year during the summer in the museum. And I think they are just at the stage where the motor's just worn out and we need to replace them. So I'm giving them a clean up, give them an oil. There's a lot of linkage here. It needs a little drop of oil on it, a little TLC, and just see how it runs. These are 24 volt. We run them on 12 volt, which they seem to run fine on. You see that's running fine there. Swap it over so it goes the other direction. You see if I put it on the wheels, it's also picking up from the wheels. So what I'm going to do is use my oiling pen just to oil some of the linkage that's on here. This is almost like oiling up a real steam engine. So I'm just going to put the electricity onto this now and just let it hold it there for a few minutes, let it run, let the oil work its way in. The alcohol led to rubbing. Very good, McCarville. How are you doing? So guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me, please. And subscribe if you're new here. And again, got any questions, pop them in the chat there, or if you look below, there's a link to a Google Doc. You can put your question in. I think technically rubbing alcohol is a mixture of IPA and meths, I think, is what rubbing alcohol is. Really, Tim? Does it get that bad? Yeah, electrics can get some people down. They're just... Oh, clockwork engine. Oh, that's bringing back memories, Slimo. I haven't had one of those since I was about 6. Peter, some of those Lego trains can be quite impressive. I've seen them at a couple of layouts, you know, a couple of shows where they've had Lego layouts. Alright, for the railway, how you doing? Welcome to stream. Hope you're keeping well. Yeah, I'm not sure what scale is a Lego train. What size track is it? Just home on the 1-1 scale railway. Right, so that's run there for a few minutes. What I'm going to do now is just have a look at where the oil is, make sure there's no big drips of oil anywhere. You know, because as I say, if you can see oil, there's too much. Because the thing with oil on models is it can damage the plastics. So you want to make sure there's as minimal as possible. I mean, these locos are quite robust. These are garden railway locos. They're designed to run outside. They're pretty bulletproof, but they still need servicing and looking after. Right, so that's one of them done. Let's have a look at the other. There's the other wire. Yeah, they do have lights. You can see there they have a light on the front. I don't know if the light on the back works when you're... No, the light on the back isn't working. It looks like there is a bulb in there, but it's... Oh no, there we go. You see that? So again, that's running. So what I'm going to do is oil it up, run it for a little bit. So basically I'm just putting a drop of oil on anything that moves, any linkage or anything like that. Let it run in for a few minutes and then clean off any excess. So, has everybody got their orders in for the new stuff from Hornby? There wasn't much on Hornby that excited me apart from that high-speed class 43 with the executive livery, which is what I've been after. But 400 quid? I know it's got sound, but oh, that's a lot of money. Yeah, the HM7000, that looks quite interesting. Who was talking about it? Was it the Hornby magazine were talking about it? I put a question there about if it's Bluetooth, because obviously you connect your phone to Bluetooth, your phone connects to one item. So does it just connect to that one chip? And then do you have to disconnect and connect to another chip on a different loco to control it? You know, and if you have, I suppose if you have some sort of emergency on your, something derails and is crashing, you just cut the power to the track. But like most systems now, there's a stop function that stops everything. But it's only iPhone so far. Yeah, I've seen that people have been doing it in the States for a while, and I think that especially in sort of this size, the Garden Railway size, they've had it for a while. But it'd be interesting to get hold of it and just see how it works. Yeah, I think a lot of people who come in new to the hobby now, that's something they would probably go for. Yeah, I think from what I've seen with it, Jerry, I think it'll work with conventional DCC systems, or you can use Bluetooth. But I wonder, is there something that takes priority? So if you give it a command via Bluetooth and you give it a command via the control station, which does it follow? Yeah, Bluetooth, yes. And somebody commented, said, like, what sort of security is going to be on it? So if you're at a show with your model and you've got it going around, what's to stop someone else connecting to it and controlling your model? But it'd be definitely something to get and test and just try out and see, because you're wondering, has Hornby tested it and worked out all the bugs yet, or thought about these things? Yeah, radio control has been around in, say, this sort of size, G-scale garden scopes. We've got a live steam local radio control. You can set that up. But, for a 00 gauge or even N gauge, alright, so that's run for a little while there. So I'll clean the oil of this, and then I'll probably call it a night there, guys, because I'm sure Bernie's live at the moment. So what I'm doing now is just cleaning off any excess oil I can see on there. As I said, if you can see oil, it's usually too much, and you don't want to get onto the plastics to degrade the plastics, or even get onto the wheels and degrade the contact surface. So there's that loco, add a bit of on oil and a clean, and we'll see how that runs on the track now in the centre. So we'll call it a night there, guys. I might see you over on Bernie's in a few minutes. But thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on your way out, or thumbs down if you want. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. And so the link to that Google Docs is down below. So if you've got any questions, pop it on there, and I can answer it in a live stream. So take care, everyone. I'll catch you all next week. And we'll be at the workbench in the kitchen again doing something. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you all next week. And I might see some of you over on Bernie's stream. Take care, everyone. Bye.